You're joking. Not another one?
Exactly.
Oh, for God's sake, I can't stand this.
There you are, Brenda. Yeah.
Exactly. This is about one man's vanity, one man's need to cling on to office, whatever else happens. Now, when I first heard about this, I thought, no way. We don't want a general election. And then I thought, bring it on.
Really?
And I'm not Labour or Conservative, so I'm who wins is I'm not bothered about. But this is about, I'm bored with the Partygate thing. It's important, but it's just going on and on and on and on and on. Let the people decide. Bring it on. Let the people decide. Let the people choose the next government now, rather than have it go on and on and on.
Well, there we are, Angela.
2024.
Let the people decide.
But Phil, you just said you're bored with the whole Partygate thing. That's a reason then.
We don't want another 2 more years of it.
But then that's a reason to have all the disruption of a general election with the hustings and the campaigning and the complete loss of focus.
This will suck the poison out of it, won't it?
At a time when we're facing this huge domestic crisis, you've got war in Ukraine, all the things that we know. And I just think we just don't need to have the distraction as much as anything else. I think, yes, they'll probably get a drubbing at the local elections, but I think there's a very different kind of behaviour in the ballot box when you're voting locally and when you vote in a general election. I think, and I just don't think who would succeed, who would take over. There's not a vacuum that can be readily filled. Sunak's finished for the moment, no way. So who's the likely contender?
Jeremy Hunt.
Jeremy Hunt is obviously a kind of safe.
And there's a bit of a thing going on with
election, not an election for the Tory party. This is a general election. Boris goes to the country. And the country can decide whether they want him to continue as Conservative leader or if they want the other lot.
But isn't if his aim is to protect himself, because he'll say to his MPs, you can't replace me now because I've got to fight a general election. Isn't that, if you're saying yes to a general election, you're allowing him to protect himself?
He's not going to go. He is not going to go. We know that much about him. It took 2 years to get rid of Theresa May, and she was a weak Prime Minister. Boris is not going to go until, as I said, kicking and screaming.
But he won an 80-seat majority. But that, I suppose the thought about it, Andrew, is if you're Boris Johnson, you've got an 80-seat majority, you want to trade that in?
Exactly, and look what happened with Theresa May when she called a premature election on the coattails of so much popularity. I think the issue about Partygate is I am not trivialising the suffering that people went through. Lots of us didn't see relatives. Lots of us had people, unfortunately had far worse than that. And I'm not also trivialising the fact that first Prime Minister in office to have broken the law. He's admitted, he's paid his fixed penalty. We don't know what's going to come out of Sue Gray. But
we're starting to, aren't we? There's a report today saying that it's so bad.
The report saying it is, but we don't know what's in it yet. We have to be proportionate. The people that were working in Downing Street may have broken the law. They weren't, though, going into care homes and attending funerals and all the things that people are saying.
We don't know that, do we? They may have been on the tube and mixing with people who were going into care homes. They may have been super spreaders.
But you can't run law on the basis of what may or may not have been.
Run a country on the basis of the people who break the laws, who make the laws don't break the laws.
We are conflating very emotional issues, and this is my real beef with this. I mean, my heart literally breaks, and I know people personally who are in this situation, who couldn't go to funerals, who couldn't be with loved ones in care homes. That's not what these people were doing. If they
let
were
the
doing
people
that,
decide.
Then I could understand the absolute horror.
What were your other reasons for not having a general election? Because the war's going on. We changed the Prime Minister in World War I. Lloyd George took over in Asquith. We changed the Prime Minister in World War II. Twice, Churchill took over from Chamberlain and then Churchill, and then Attlee took over from Churchill.
And Iraq War, and not the Falklands. Another one.
The first Iraq War.
First Iraq Gulf War.
Major took over from Thatcher.